I thought I would start by just saying, are there people in the audience here for whom this issue of trying to encourage referring physicians to refer patients, hopefully participants, to your trial, are there specific cases, incidents, techniques that you might have in mind as being something you had questions about, whether it was appropriate to do or whether it was sort of going too far to influence people? Anyone? Robert? Yeah. Do you want to say a little bit about the kinds of trials and the kinds of incentives you were thinking about?
It took us a while in my group in movement disorders and epilepsy to understand what the CHR requirements are. And our most common method is sending letters to community neurologists over about a 4-hour range from San Francisco, and we get those names from the American Academy of Neurology list, and we get those letters reviewed and approved by the CHR. But we've also sometimes used flyers, patient education flyers, and I don't think, Jamie, have we always gotten those approved by the CHR? No. We have, yeah.
As far as I know.
Okay.
Good answer. Just kidding.
But you know, there are a lot of times when most of the physicians, sometimes the nurses in our group, have contact with patient support groups where they talk offline with patients, and the same thing with their community of neurologists. And you know, we're doing that outside the purview of the CHR, and we think that's okay, but we're not sure.
Anyone else have experiences trying? I mean, obviously, getting people enrolled in your trial is essential. If you don't get the people enrolled, you don't have a trial. So a lot of times there are kind of time pressures to enroll people. And sometimes you do all that, you put up the flyers, you go to meetings, and you know, the number of people enrolled in your trial is a trickle, and you really want to sort of get people more.
Actually, it was one of the first consults that we had with you on one of our insulin resistance trials, and we did the same thing of writing to the physicians, but sometimes, lots of times, they just didn't even respond. I mean, we sent out hundreds to get, you know, one back, and then not interested.
Right. So as someone who's sometimes the recipient of these letters, if you saw my desk, there's like a stack of papers that high on top of the desk, which are things like that, and maybe I'll really get to it, maybe I won't. Just to go the completely other way, you also sometimes as a physician or a nurse will get things from drug companies to enroll in clinical trials of new drugs, and often they're pharmacokinetic studies, whatever, and they will offer doctors a substantial amount of money, several $100s, just to make a phone call to give a patient's name to the nurse coordinator or the study coordinator. And that really tends to get doctors' attention. So I think the issue is that appropriate? Is it ethical? Is it something that you can do in your trials? But short of that, that's a big budget, right? Short of that, can you do other things? And the raffle ticket was one thing that was proposed. I've had people say, you know, here's a coupon for Starbucks coffee or something. So has anyone thought about other incentives to get people to refer patients into your trials? Okay. Obviously, you want to kind of make it effort neutral to the person referring it, right? You want them to sort of say, okay, that's worth thinking about. Let me mentally run down my list of patients and see if there's someone who's eligible. That's what you'd like them to do. It takes time. It takes some effort. You need to sometimes do something to sort of get their attention.